Distance between 2 points. I think it's a perfectly straight line. So let's say that I wanted to go to somebody's house and I was standing at the left end of this point and I wanted to go to the right end of the point. The quickest way to get to that person's house on the right end of the point is to walk a direct straight line. If I decided instead that I wanted to go up into the store and then from the store to the friend's house, the distance from me to the store and then the store to my friend's house has to be longer than the distance directly to my friend's house. In other words, if it was 11 miles, and let's say I drove it instead of walked it, or rode my bike, because I do ride my bike 11 miles. Let's say I rode my bike directly to my friend's house. That's 11 miles, that's straight. Is it possible to go 5 miles to the store and then 4 miles to my friend's house? Is that possible? No, because the shortest distance is a straight line. So the shortest possible distance between this point on the left and the point on the right is 11 miles. I couldn't possibly go up here 5 miles and then down here 4 miles and still get to that point. I would end up short of that point. Well, what if the distance from the store to my friend's house was 6 miles? Could I go 5 miles this way and then 6 miles this way and end up there? Well, no, because that shortest distance is 11. So I can't possibly get there quicker by going out of the way. Or another way to look at it is just look at the room that you're in. If you're going to walk to the wall directly across from you, that's the shortest distance to get up and walk to that wall. But imagine if you walked all the way to the wall on the left and then all the way back to the point that was straight in front of you. That can't possibly be shorter. And it can't possibly be the same distance. So it couldn't be a 4. It couldn't be a 6. What about 9? Yeah, it could be 9 because the shortest straight distance is 11. If I went 5 and then 9, I've gone a distance of 14. So that works. That would be okay. The bottom line in this is that any two sides of a triangle, any two, must be longer when you add them up than the third side. Well, what if the other side was 18? Now, our first instinct here is to say, oh yeah, okay, that works too, because 5 plus 18 is 23, and 23 is longer than 11, so that works. The only problem with that, though, is now if I look at it this way, if I go along this right-hand edge, and that's a distance of 18, is it possible to go from the point at the top where we start 5 units down to the left and then 11 units and end up at the bottom right? No, because 5 and 11 is only 16. It's got to be longer than 18. So what does it come down to? This. The sum of any two sides of a triangle must be greater than the third side. So let's try this out. Here's our first example. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 is longer than 5. That looks good. 4 and 5 is 9. 9 is longer than 3. That looks good. Then coming across the top here, 5 and 3 are 8. That's longer than 4. Yes, number 1 can be a triangle. You try number 2. Well, the answer to number 2 is no, it can't be, because 8 plus 11 is 19, and 19 is less than that third side of 21. Let's try number 3. Now, we're tempted to say yes on number 3 because 5 plus 9 is going to be 5 plus 9 is going to be 14, and that's bigger than 3, so that's looking good. And 9 plus 3 is 12, which is bigger than 5, so that's looking good. But 5 and 3, that adds up to 8. It's not bigger than 9. So the answer to this one is no. 5 plus 3 is less than 9. It's supposed to be bigger than 9. Here's the thing. It can't equal 9, and it can't be less than 9. And you have to try all of the possible combinations, just not the first two. Going back to the first question, you couldn't do just 3 plus 4 is bigger than 5. You also have to do 4 and 5 is bigger than 3, and 3 and 5 is bigger than 4. On the second one, you found out right away that it didn't work because 8 and 11 were 19, and that's less than 21. But on number 3, you started thinking, hey, this could work, right? 5 and 9 is 14. 14 is bigger than 3. But only when you investigated further, and the next step still worked, 9 and 3 is bigger than 5. But when I did 5 and 3, it's not bigger than 9. So I have to try all the possible combinations. Okay, let's try number 4. Remember, always stop and start. Number 4 works, right? 8 and 8 are bigger than 14. 8 and 14 is bigger than 8. And another 8 and 14 will be bigger than 8 again. What about number 5? No, because 8 and 8 is 16. That's less than 17. And what about number 6? Give that a try. Stop and start. Yes, that's good, right? 9 and 21 is 30. That's bigger than 25. 21 and 25 are 46. That's bigger than 9. And 9 and 25 is 34. That's bigger than 21. Okay, let's apply this a little bit more. Here's two questions to do. I don't know why I numbered them both 1, but go ahead. Do these 2, stop and start, and then I'll give you the answers. Okay, on the first one, 2 sides of a triangle are 8 and 12. Which of the following can be the lengths of the third side? Well, A does not work because 8 and 3 is only 11. B does not work because 8 and 12 are 20, and they need to combine to be longer than choice B. C's looking pretty good, right? 8 and 7 are bigger than 12. 12 and 7 is bigger than 8. 7 and 12 is bigger than 8. I should say 8 and 7 is bigger than 12. This is looking good. And oh, look, 2 doesn't work because 8 and 2 are 10, and 10 is not bigger than 12. So the only answer on the first one is choice C. Next up, 2 sides of a triangle are 21 and 31. Which of the following cannot be the length of the third side? Oh, and by the way, here's the proof on that first one. Okay. So the answer to the next one is choice D. And the reasons why? Well, 21 and 31 is greater than 9. That's looking good. 9 and 31 is greater than 21. That's looking good. But 9 and 21 is not greater than 31. So 9 cannot be the length of the third side. Okay. Let's try the next one. Find a value of that x can be and a value that x cannot be. Let's start with the value that x cannot be, okay? There's lots of choices, but anything greater than 20, it cannot be. I'm sorry, anything less than 20. Wait, yeah, greater than 20, I'm sorry. Anything greater than 20, it cannot be. So for instance, x cannot be 100. There's no way that if the straight line distance from the top to the lower left is 100, that you could possibly go all the way to the right 8 and all the way back to the left 12 and have that be shorter than 100. It just couldn't be. So anything bigger than 20 cannot be. 21 couldn't be, 22, 22 and a half, anything bigger than 20. Now, what can it be? Anything less than 20, okay? But I shouldn't say anything less than 20. Anything less than 20, but it's also going to have to be bigger than 4, because if it's not bigger than 4, then 8 plus it would not be bigger than 12, okay? All right. The so far summary: any 2 sides of a triangle, when added, must be greater than the third. And you have to try all the possible combinations of the side. 2 combinations can work, and then the third one fail. Okay? All right. So that's all about the any 2 sides of a triangle have to add to be bigger than the third.